I'm not really sure how I need to be starting this. I don't think I ever will. Um, just a heads up, this is gonna be probably deeper and I don't know if darker is the right word, but I mean, yeah, than what normal content runs on this channel. Um, so 8 days ago today, uh, I had a friend who unfortunately wound up taking his own life, and haven't really been taking it well. Um, yeah, it was kind of a shock when I learned that morning, 7 days ago, 6 days and 12 hours ago from when I'm recording this. And it was, yeah, you always hear about like how devastating it is, but I've I'm gonna try not to like cry, but if I do, I'm probably gonna cut it out because it's gonna be for an hour or two on end. Um, you always hear about how devastating this always is, and you always are like, why would they do that? Why would they do that? Why would they do that? And then when it actually happens, it's when it happens to someone you were close with, someone who poured time into you, poured energy into you, and put effort into you. Eh, it really is. I mean, I don't really know what all emotions I have words to convey with, but um, it's it's just a shock more than anything. Um, I'm still not truly at the point where I'm questioning why did he do that. I'm just now uh getting over the fact that he's gone, I guess. But it's definitely something that no one should have to go through, especially not when you're not even out of high school. It's it's I mean, it's an experience. There's no other way to really put it. Like, I knew it was bad, but I don't know if it fully set in until Monday when I actually went to school and saw the outbreak of the devastation it caused. I had another friend called me. She called me and kind of was trying to figure out what happened, I guess, because he was at a party with some friends earlier that day, which I was unable to attend. But I mean, it was on his Instagram stories is that he was having a good time. Everyone there said he was laughing and having a great time and all that jazz. Uh, yeah, but it was. I think it also hurt because I was kind of incapable of being happy, and my grandma's birthday was that night, and was not yet able to tell her about what happened, so I kind of felt like a piece of crap because I was sad at someone else's birthday. Um, but yeah, I had a friend ask me about what happened, and then it set, I think it truly set in Monday is when the full effects kind of became realized. Um, I was just gonna try and just make it to the end of the, to sixth and seventh period because that's when my two band periods are. Uh, and that's how I knew him. And yeah, but I was gonna just try and make it. I did not even make it past second period. Like second period, I kind of just mentally shut the hell off and just slammed my head into a desk, and then just kind of. I mean, I never really brought my head back up. The teachers were already told about what was happening. There's no public announcement made on the school's end, but the teachers were aware. And by third period, I was in the counselor's office. And I think that's when it truly set in. Because I had another friend walk in. Um, so, you know, those people in life that you think would just never cry, like they're too tough, you just can't imagine it, like 6'6", 250 pounds, probably closer to 200, but just real tough dude. And then you walk in and he comes in after you to go and grab his backpack. I mean, he's bawling his eyes out. uh it it's it it changes you. It definitely does. There's that, I believe, is when I felt reality start to kick in, because that just made, I mean, it was that dude's birthday party was the party that that he was in attendance to. So that was, and then Monday was a tough day to get through. That's literally just the tip of the iceberg. I spent all of third and fourth and uh period trying to recover, and then I go to lunch, and then I couldn't make it through fifth period. I was back in the counselor's office. Just, I mean, I don't know if I should have just been more open about it and tried not to. I don't want to say tough it out because that's not exactly what I was trying to do, but I was just trying to make it to sixth period, and then I could collapse in because I wouldn't be pressured by uh, the students in my grade. Um, One thing that, if you haven't gone through or aren't having gone through yet, high school is just a shitty period of life. Like, and part of me wants to blame the school for not making an announcement. And I feel as if they would have, but he had left the school. This was his first year at a different high school, a public high school, so he could graduate early and go to college. I mean, he was going to be a 16-year-old graduate. He had a bright future and everything. I mean, it wasn't like he was friendless either. Uh, I'll dazzle more into that later, I guess. But like, he had a girlfriend. He had like 18 friend groups, basically. I mean, he had I don't know. And I guess just the fact that it never seemed like it would have been him is probably what is the most jarring about it. But yeah. So sixth period comes in. So the way my band works is that we have sixth period, and that is jazz band, and that's kind of like you made it in terms of band. You are now one of the elite 20 in jazz band or whatever. And then you have marching and concert band, which is seventh period. They had the counselor come into us for sixth period because it was the people that were closest to us were in or closest to him were in sixth period jazz band. And I think what hurt me the most about it is he had poured time into me to teach me a new instrument, his instrument, and that was because he was leaving for the different school. And I don't know, I get told not to put too much pressure on myself, but it's like I really can't put any fucking less pressure on myself at this point. It's like having a 45-pound plate just strapped to your chest at this point. Like, my heart rate has been so erratic. I have been doped up on caffeine just to keep it like, even if it's an unhealthily high number, it's at least a steady number. But I think that's what part of what my thing was. But then the counselor came in, and I mean, she was honest. There was nothing she could. That was what she was saying. There was nothing she could say that would make the situation better or worse. Which, yeah, that checks out. But it was still a jarring moment. And then sorry. Um I mean, one of his closest friends was in there. She was skipping whatever class to be there, and she was just breaking down. And I think the worst part of all this was I wish I could have been better help to everyone who was affected harder than I was. I truly do wish I would have been just more there. And part of me wants to believe I could have done something, I could have said something, but deep down I know that this decision was probably not made up in a split second. Or it was made in a split second and it was too late. There's no convincing. Either he would have, I don't know. The way I'm looking at this is either he had made up his mind beforehand, like, I'm going to enjoy today or this week or whatever, or it was split second, like, oh shit, everything's gone bad. I really don't know the full story of events leading up to it. I know he left the party and then went to go hang out with his girlfriend. And I'm really pissed at myself for not pulling up to the party and seeing him one last time. Yeah, my boss had a field day when he figured that one out. Oh God, I can't even remember what I was talking about. But yeah. So sixth period finished. Seventh period, shit got real. That's the only way I can truly describe it. It's just shit got real really quickly. Uh, sorry for just peeking the microphone. We had a bunch of alumni come in. I was not aware of this. Apparently, I was the only one, though. A bunch of alumni came in and just, cried with us. There is nothing you can truly do to make that situation better. And that's just kind of, being there is the best you can do for someone going through that. And even then, that still doesn't feel like enough, even though I know it truly is, because people have been with me through it, but when you're being with someone else, it really doesn't feel like it's enough. But that's all you can do. But yeah, I think the realest it got is just when all of the boys just, these were just everyone group hug, and it was like 12 people. It was just one poor kid trapped in the middle. But it's really, because these aren't really kids that are emotional. Like, I know I can be an emotional person sometimes. A lot of times, actually. As much as I'll try to, like, play it off, is just, I have no idea, but just ignore it or play it off. It is not to the same extent I think these kids were going through. Yeah, just it was a changing moment. Um, and then they came on the intercom, announced. So the way our school's structured, we have a cross kind of on campus. So they were like, prayer at the cross at 7:30 tomorrow for him, and that basically was just going through what I did in seventh period again. Like, just, you just, yeah, like, yeah, because these aren't like little kids either. These are grown ass men older than I am. Like, applied for college, going to college, all that. I kind of felt out of place because I am a few years behind all of them. But some of them in college, damn it. Like, these are not children necessarily. Like, they understand the gravity of the situation, which I think also had an impact on the timeline proceeding or receding. I don't know. But whatever the word is after the event. Sorry, I'm like trying to think of a way I can tell this, but yeah. I end up missing till third period again due to the prayer thing, and it's just, I don't know, like, everyone has that one friend that you'll always be there for. They'll always be there for you. And when they just break down in your arms, it's fucking devastating and traumatic, honestly. Traumatic's not the right word to use, but you just can't do anything about it, can't deal with it. Sorry, I peeked the damn mic again. Um, So that was cool jazz and all. Then mm, so one thing I believe about suicide is that it's a mental disease, or depression's a mental disease that can have results of suicide. YouTube is going to take this video down so fast and I'm going to be so pissed. Anyways, I think truly what happens, I don't think, I can basically guarantee it. Um, that's shit. That's not what I should have said. That sounds like total shit because I truly don't know and I pray I never will. But truly, what I think happens is that you tunnel vision so hard on just failure and just all your downsides, and that you don't even start thinking about like the people around you and all the people that support and care for you. Like, I have been incredibly low in my life to the point where I could probably be put in a psych ward if I share some of the crap I've put myself through. But even then, I've not been that low in life. But it's yeah, I truly think you do just tunnel vision on yourself and you stop thinking about the people around you that love and care for you. And then you just start thinking the world's a better place without you, which it's not. Please don't put anyone, any of your relatives, any of your friends through that. And truly, I think thinking that people will not notice is kind of not true, really. Like, I mean, this is going to sound like a terrible example, but when they hit the Twin Towers in 2001, all the people that were dead were kind of recognized in a way by people that never stepped on the subway to go to work again. And even though they never knew him, they just knew they weren't on the subway anymore. It was it's kind of like that. So just please get help if you ever feel like that. Truly. But anyways, I don't think it's, or I think it is a mental disorder. I do not think it's a selfish act. You can I see this bullshit argument pop up so much. Like, what if your dad killed himself? Like, what would you do then? Would you like be happy that he's not with you anymore? Wouldn't you be mad that he abandoned you? It's just, I mean, it's like, I'm trying to give an example that's seriously not gonna put like my work life at jeopardy. Not even this, just my actual work and home life at jeopardy. But it's like when I mean, it's like that's just like I had an example. I can't remember. It's like when you ask a car guy who has LS swapped every car in his garage to not even think about cars. That's that's a terrible example, and I feel like a piece of shit for trying to make that example. But it's just the wrong, like that's like that's like if you were to blame Helen Keller for not understanding human language. That is a shitty example. But that's what it truly feels like to me. Like, and I get she learned English and crap, but like 5-year-old deaf and mute child. Yeah. But you can imagine how I started feeling when everybody around me was telling me that that was a kind of a selfish thing to do. And I really fucking hate it because now I can't even remember him for who he was because now that seed's planted. Like, what if he was just being a selfish prick? And I know he's not. But you can't undo that thought. That's not a thought that comes undone. And I don't know who watches my content. I don't really trust YouTube's little how old are you type crap. I don't really trust the the numbers I get in YouTube Studio. But like if you have kids and they God forbid they go through something like this, just let them talk. Truly. I don't know. I feel like through all of this I have more or less realized that like nobody that has anybody that has never gone through this is not going to have the right words. And I know that sounds really harsh, but that's truly what it feels like. And I was really pissed at my dad for that shit, which I did not feel like that was unreasonable. I straight up crashed out on him one night, like just screaming at him because truly that did not help anything that I was dealing with. Yeah, so keep fast forwarding to Friday night. There was a football game that occurred. Um I thought I was finally doing better. I was finally eating. I was finally almost sleeping. Like I know my sleep schedule is normally terrible, but I was actually like sleeping according to that schedule, so it felt like improvement. And then I just kept breaking down. I could not do it. Like the first so he had come to our previous home games because he still supported the school and he didn't really care for the school he transferred to uh sports wise. So he just came to our games and there's this little corner. One of his best friends is our bassist, and she and him would talk, and then me and him would talk because I'm right next to her, and I was. I don't really know because they changed the configuration last night, but it really, it felt like he should have been there. As much as I know he could have very well not have been, it felt like he should have. And then the opposing team's band, I finally got over that. The opposing team's band had brought us flowers to I it was just like a sign of respect, I guess. I say not respect, but like I really don't know the right words to formulate the rest of the sentence. I mean, it was just like I can't think right now. My brain is fried. I don't know. You get the gesture. They gave the band flowers, and yeah, and then like they came on the intercom at the end of first quarter saying, "Oh, the so and so band is wearing yellow ribbons on their jerseys to in memory of him." And I mean, I knew that's what the ribbons were for when I was putting on the uniform. They had already put them on our uniforms for us, so they looked standardized. But it just hearing them announce it was another thing. And then I finally, for the first time in 4.5 years, I finally have marched what I would call a perfect show. Music perfect, marking perfect, step offs perfect, everything just spot on. And I I honest to God, this is probably a bit more selfish of me. I just wish he was there to see it. I really do. And I don't know. I think maybe it was the extra pressure I had been putting on myself. Maybe I was still hoping I would get a text saying, "JK bitches, I'm still alive," and then he would pull up, but that got any chance of that got eliminated today. He had his visitation and funeral service was today, which god damn, I've never seen such a small building for such a big crowd. I think it truly shows. I mean, there was at least 200 people there. It was, yeah, it was, it was a big event. Um, yeah, we had a lot of students there. I mean, like I said, there was at least 150 like friends and relatives that were there for him. Like, cause we had virtually everybody in our band. You had his friend group at his other school that really they cared for him, and yeah, it was just a lot. It was a lot of people. It was a lot of relatives. Uh, it was an it was an open casket funeral or visitation. I mean, so that really messes with you. Being, I mean, I'm still a teenager. I'm not fucking. I can't vote. Can barely drive. Uh, like that really fucks with you. Seeing your friend who mentored you to and taught you stuff, that just lifeless. And I know there's a whole thing about uh looking different because of the amount of makeup. There was like 2 pounds of makeup on his neck. It wasn't even funny. Not that it should ever be funny, but it was. I think that was the most apparent to me, and I think the only reason I didn't see makeup anywhere else is because he wore glasses, and nobody really ever saw him without the glasses because he'd be blind. And yeah, so I didn't really see it in the face, but it was definitely noticeable on the neck. And I think that truly hit it for me. He's gone. And I mean, it was just me there. Like, I just told my family to stay at home, which Uh, I know they would have supported me, but I, I really, I don't know. I don't know why I decided to go by myself. I just did. But I think that's truly what sealed it for me. I as much as I knew it wasn't happening, there was a shiver of hope that maybe he was just in a coma and he was going to wake up any second. And when we went over to the graveside cemetery or graveside service, that yeah, he's gone. That's when it truly set in. That's when I really broke down today. It it really messed me up. Like, I guess I had spent so long trying to be strong for others that I kind of forgot to me myself be strong for myself. And I think that did do damage because I mean, as dramatic as this sounds, I literally just fucking lost it. Like, I mean, it wasn't like screaming, but it was like trying your best to cry when you can't because you've done it so much just in the past week and days. I don't know. It it's not an experience anyone should go through, let alone a child. I don't really consider myself to be as mature as I get told I am. I know I hang out with kids that are like 4 years older than me, like two at least, maybe four, maybe 10. Like, but it's just not something anyone should have to go through. Just seeing the casket get lowered, like my section leader just came up to me and just hugged me, and that did mean a lot. But I mean, she was also devastated by it. I mean, she didn't say it, but you could see it in her face. You could see it in everyone's face. I mean, it's just it, I don't really have words at this point. His dad proceeded to get some of the boys in band and just some of the kids that were in band with him together, and he like tears in his eyes, just straight up said he loved talking about how much fun he always had with us, and that that really fucked me up. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, he's that showed me a lot about who his father was. Like, even in the darkest moment of that man's life, as far as I'm aware, he still cared about others. And it really showed me what his son would have done too. he, gave a little bit of a speech on how much he cared for us, and I mean, shit. It was a lot. I had more friends there to comfort me, I guess. And we all comforted each other. It it's just it's an experience. That's truly all I can call it right now. Maybe in 10 years I'll be able to look back on it, but I mean it truly shows you how much people love the kid, how much everyone was there for him. And yeah. Yeah, it kind of messes you up, but it does truly show you that people care for you. I think that is a good thing. I think if you're still listening, truly tell your friends that you love them. As gay as it sounds or whatever, do it. It means more than you could ever possibly realize. And I don't really know how I'm supposed to wrap this up. I don't really know if I can, but I think if I had to end on a note, it would be that he was a great kid. He was taken from us too soon by whatever forces that be. He's he's looking down on us now, and if you need help, just ask. Reach out. There, as much as I've been told contrary, there is no shame in calling the hotline or just texting one of your friends, calling one of your friends. Like they'll. It, yeah. Just just do it. I really don't have anything to say. Um, I don't know when there'll be another upload. I'm not entirely positive on if there will be another upload, truly. Um, I don't know by the time I get out of this state if I'll still remember about the channel, but just thank y'all, each and every one of y'all. I don't know when I'll be back, if I'll be back, but just remember, it always gets better. As much as you don't believe it, it will. Yeah, I think on that note, I'm gonna say, see y'all.